Welcome back. 2007 Honda CR-V. Engine light on, VSA light on the dash. Kind of goes into limp mode, safe mode, bucks if you try to rev it too high. I'm going to pull codes from this and see what's going on. I have a feeling I know what it is already, but let's take a look and see what needs to be done to this vehicle. Alright, so I've got the scanner hooked up to it. Key on, engine off. Hopefully you can read that code. P2646 rocker arm oil pressure switch, circuit low voltage. The first thing you want to do if you get this code is check your oil level. If your oil level is low, it could throw this code on you because you don't have enough oil. So if it is low, fill it back up to where it should be. Clear your code, go drive it. Make sure you go above 3,000 RPMs. Drive it for 10 or 15 minutes or until it comes back on. If you drive it for 15 or 20 minutes, that V-TEC is going to actuate around 3,000 RPMs, 2,700 something in there, and it doesn't come back on. Could just be low oil that caused it. If not, then you got to go on and do what we're going to do and check the actual oil pressure switch and the solenoid for the V-TEC system. So, common issue on these cars, back here in that corner, you see this wire right here. I'm going to try to get you in a better position. Is the oil pressure switch for the V-TEC system and the solenoid, both on the same unit here. So we're going to take a look at that and see what's going on. I want to make sure the computer's talking to it and it can recognize it, and then we'll replace it if we need to. And we're looking down towards the passenger side on the back of the engine here, and this is what we want to look at. We want to look at this solenoid and oil pressure switch. This is the oil pressure switch here, solenoid connector here. There's 3 bolts to hold this on. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to hook this up to the scanner, and we're going to disconnect each one of these as we watch the data. We want to see it respond, meaning the computer can actually see it and talk to it. And we'll do an additional check on this oil pressure switch connector and see what's going on there. And then I have a feeling you generally want to replace this as a unit. You can just get an oil pressure switch, but I wouldn't. I'd do the whole thing. And this is a part that OEM, I don't use aftermarket for this kind of stuff, just causes problems. So let's take a look at these connectors. I'm going to pull them. Let's take a look. Let's see what the scanner says. Make sure that everything looks okay and the computer's talking to it, and then replace it if we need to. So look at the scanner. These are the 3 that I'm going to watch: VTEC pressure switch, solenoid valve, and the return signal. When I unplug the connectors, we should see them change. It's on, off, off right now. So I'm going to reach down. I'm going to do the get the solenoid first. Just grab that one and get to it here. A little difficult. Knocking everything out of the way. Here, I just unplug that, and you can see that bottom one change, so the computer's actually seeing it. That's good. Plug that back in for now. I'm going to do the other one, which is a little harder to get to, a little harder to reach. Let me get a little screwdriver for that. All right, unplugged, right? So you see the top V-TEC pressure switch went to off. That's good. That's what I wanted to see. Meaning the computer sees it when it's unplugged, so we don't have an issue there. So I'm going to do one additional check with a voltmeter. Alright, so I've got this inside connector, which is the oil switch pressure connector. 2 wires. It has a blue-black and a yellow-green or a brown-yellow. I forget which one this is. Let me look. Can't really see it, but I know you can't see it. I think it's a brown-yellow. The blue unplugged, key on, engine off. The blue-black should have 12 volts on it. Alright, so I've got my ground connected to the negative of the battery. I'm just going to front probe the blue-black wire on this oil pressure switch. Don't jam it into it. You don't want to damage it. You watch that voltage. Hopefully you can see that. I think you can. I'm just going to... 12 volts. It's got battery voltage. That's good. That's what we want to see. Now, the other wire, the yellow-brown, I think it is on this one. I should be able to take a test light. The positive terminal of the battery, touch it to that, and it should light the light, meaning that the ground's okay. positive side of the battery with test light. Make sure I got a good connection there, which I do. And I'm going to touch the brown-yellow wire. Hopefully you'll be able to see my light up here. There you go. Hopefully you can see it. I'm probably blocking it with this. So do it again. Just don't jam it. Just touch it. There's your light. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so what does that tell me? Tells me the computer, the wiring's okay. So you can go further with this and do scope testing on the solenoid if you want to, but in all honesty, you're going to replace the whole unit. So I'm not even going to bother. I know the computer can talk to it. I know the computer sees when I unplug them. I have 12 volts on the positive side to the oil pressure switch. I have ground control on the other wire to the oil pressure switch when it's unplugged. So we're going to end up replacing this unit. Very common issue here. I'm going to do my best to show you this. It's kind of hard to get back in here with the camera. I may knock it around here, but I've got both my connectors undone. I've got to, there's a little push-in clip. I got to get a little pick to get that out of there. I'm going to leave that for now. See how much play I have once I get it out of there. So 3 bolts facing from the back to the front. You're going to have a hard time seeing them. This is one of them right here. I can see. The other 2 I can't see right now. That one's loose. I've got to find the other 2, probably with a mirror. Let me get my mirror and see where they are. So there it is. So one of the things you should look at is this screen at the bottom. You see it has a little bit in it. Sometimes those can get clogged, but this one wasn't bad at all. And the car has 180,000 miles, so it's going to get replaced. There's a electrical push-in pin here, connector, and one here. I got them off after I undid the 3 bolts. Faces the, you know, you're looking at it, how it would face the front of the car. 3 bolts on the back side right there to get it out. And just pop it loose. Not very hard. So we're just going to go in, we're going to replace this. Make sure you get this seal out. Sometimes it'll stick to the engine. This one did, I had to pull it out, but as you can see, as I said, sometimes those screens get clogged and you can just clear that screen without replacing everything. I'm not chancing it with this. At the amount of miles on this car, and it wasn't bad at all, so I don't expect it to fix the issue. We're going to replace the whole unit. I'm trying to show you this. The new one's in. I don't know how well this is going to show up because it's kind of tight. I've got my connectors connected back up, my push pins back in, the 3 bolts that hold it in there, 9 foot-pounds for them. I did torque them to spec. Not a lot of torque on them. When I pulled this out, I wiped it off, got the oil off of the mounting surface. I'm going to run this, make sure it doesn't leak, and I'm going to test drive it. We'll take it out for a test drive and we'll see how it does. But I think that should fix the issue. So I took this out and drove it for probably a good half hour, above 3,000 RPMs on and off, which is where your VTEC's going to come in. No problems, no light, no VSA, no limp mode, safe fail mode, whatever you want to call it. It definitely was the issue. I brought it back, checked to make sure nothing was leaking. There's no leaks, so that's it. If you have this problem with your Honda, I hope this helps you out. If you like the video, subscribe below. Thanks for watching.